What's good, everyone? I'm getting notifications on my phone. Let's go to Do Not Disturb. How's everyone doing? I actually need to pull up the stream because I have no clue how many, if anyone, is watching. As you can tell, I'm on the Duck stream because I was too lazy to set up OBS. But I just thought about streaming for 20 minutes, maybe a little more, depending on what we talk about. Yeah, I just wanted to chat with everyone. Crypt Keeper says, just finished watching episode 5, clicked on YouTube, and you're going live talking about Star Wars. Interesting. Just finished watching episode 5? What, The Empire Strikes Back? Or The Bad Batch? I don't know what you're talking about. What's up, Supreme Leader Drakovich? How's everyone doing? Hey, Goldman. What's up, Buckeye Guy? Justin Saw says, OMG is at the Goldman. It is me. And I am on vacation. Just kidding. Hey, it's Matthew Kelly. Doing fine. I just done outdoor painting for 3 hours. Interesting. What are you painting, Matthew Kelly? A roof? Wall? Bleep, I was listening to my music until I felt obligated to join the stream. You should never feel obligated, but I appreciate your ongoing support. Joel Davis says, loved your Palpatine video. Really is kind of fascinating how much of the canon being developed during the sequel trilogy sort of played into the idea of Palpatine making a return. Yeah, what was it really interesting about that is prior to the Rise of Skywalker, they had a lot of crap about Palpatine's, I shouldn't say crap, a lot of stuff about Palpatine's contingency. And we were kind of all wondering what it was going to lead to. And then I guess they kind of made it so it led to Palpatine's return, because Palpatine's return wasn't in the cards back then. So, yeah. Hey, Goldman, looks like I'm going to miss this stream. I really enjoyed your last video. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Ooh, good question. Hold on, let me get to that. What is the 5 sequel trilogy characters you want to see in The Mandalorian? I don't even know if the sequel trilogy characters can be in The Mandalorian. I mean, I don't know. Snoke, how about that? Sure. What's your next video? Oh, here, I'll pull that up. I got to pull up the thumbnail first on my computer. Here we go. Give me a hot sec. Share screen. Here we go. My video is on Ezra's sacrifice. It's basically just talking about why I think it's such a great sacrifice and why I think it's such a great ending to the Clone Wars as a whole. I'm actually sharing my whole screen. Can I not do that? Stop sharing. Share screen. Here we go. Window. Share. There we go. Yes, it's about Ezra's sacrifice. Hey, Goldman, have you seen the costume leak for the Obi-Wan show? Yeah, that he had like a slightly darker robe, but not much to think about that. I mean, it's cool. I don't know. I'm not into leaks as much. Ooh, Rebels video. I know it's about time, right? Like, I'm a huge Rebels apologist, and I have not made a single Rebels video. Yes, Rebels content. Hey, Rebels video. Yeah, I know. I have a few in mind. I want to do one on Kanan's spoiler alert if you haven't seen Rebels. Kanan's death. Maybe one on the lightsaber fight and all that. But yeah, stuff like that. There was a leak for the Kenobi show. It wasn't really a leak. It was just a picture of him like wearing an outfit, covering up his Obi-Wan outfit, and he had a slightly darker robe. How are you enjoying the High Republic novels? I really love them so far. Excited for the new books coming out. I read part of the first one, and I didn't finish it. Not because it was bad. It was just I was finishing out my semester. I am currently reading the first of the Thrawn Ascendancy books. Once I do that, I want to re-get into the High Republic. Because I was enjoying it. I just didn't finish it due to circumstances, which bothers me because I don't like not finishing crap. So, yeah. I just heard Rebels, been hearing a variety of reviews, so I want to try it myself. Oh, it's so good. I'm sorry if I just spoiled it for you, but yeah. I talk about Star Wars here, so there's only so much I can do. What's your favorite Clone Wars arc? I'm basic, The Siege of Mandalore. I think very few things can be as good as that. I think if The Siege of Mandalore was a movie, it might be number 2 on my list, like behind Empire. I just think it's that good. So yeah, Siege of Mandalore. I'm a big fan of endings. If endings are done well, I'm a big fan of them. I think Rebels is starting to get its due with people these days. It aged really well. It absolutely aged well. I think Filoni's work ages very well. Especially the 2 animated shows. I mean, Resistance hasn't aged well. Let me get rid of. Let me stop sharing. There we go. Yeah, like Resistance didn't age well because it just wasn't that good. But if you look at Clone Wars, wasn't that popular when it came out. Then it became hella famous. Rebels was actually panned quite a bit when it was coming out, and then towards the end, it got really good. I think it's because Star Wars animation is best when you binge it, like waiting week to week. And you were noticing this with the Bad Batch is kind of tedious. But when you binge it, it doesn't seem like the fillers don't seem as long. That makes sense. Thoughts on Bad Batch? I'm enjoying it. I'm patient with it. I'm being patient with the Bad Batch because Clone Wars Season 1 and Rebel Season 1 weren't the best, but they led to something incredible. So I'm optimistic that Bad Batch can do the same thing. What are your thoughts on the latest Bad Batch episode? It was probably the best episode we got since the pilot. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I like seeing. I really like the dynamic between Omega and Wrecker. I don't know why those two. I don't know. They just seem very. I mean, Wrecker is kind of a child, so he plays off Omega the best. I really enjoy it. It was nice seeing Rex. I have a soft spot for Rex. He's one of my favorite clones. Yeah, I don't know. It's not much. The Bad Batch. There's nothing special has happened yet. So I'm enjoying it. It's okay. I'm patient with it. I tried to watch Resistance, but I just couldn't. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The most recent Bad Batch episode was great. It was good. Why is the title said Ezra's sacrifice? Since Dave Filoni said Ezra didn't die, killed along with Thrawn. Well, you can sacrifice. You can make a sacrifice and not die. I mean, the sacrifice Ezra made is that, especially during the point of The Mandalorian, he hasn't seen his closest friends and family for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. He got to save Lothal, but he didn't get to like feel the moment of Lothal being free. So yeah, he's trapped somewhere. So he sacrificed himself in that way. And maybe he thought he was going to die. We don't know. So yeah, you don't need to. He didn't sacrifice his life, but he sacrificed a lot. That's my take, at least. I like the Resistance, but I'd way rather have a 2-season crappy animation shown in the Old Republic era. The thing with the Resistance was that it was placed in the sequel era, but it didn't explore anything like that important with the sequels. I mean, you saw Poe in there. You got barely anything with the actual Resistance. I mean, Star Wars Resistance, the Resistance doesn't play that much of a role in the show. They're barely a part of it. So yeah, it was a huge letdown. Thrawn name dropped to Mando, so he's gonna be back in something upcoming for sure. Oh yeah, probably the Ahsoka show. I enjoyed the latest Bad Batch episode, but the 3 before it were boring filler IMO. Fair enough. I like seeing the Martez sisters. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a weirdo, but I have a soft spot for the Martez sisters. So, what are you looking forward to in the Bad Batch? I just want to see I want to see more of the Empire. I want to see more of what Crosshair's up to. I think that stuff's really interesting. And I want to see Omega grow too. I mean, Ezra is taken away from his family for a decade. Exactly. So I'll be curious to see people's perception of the sequel trilogy once more of the post-Endor era is filled out with Mandalorian, its spin-offs, and other possible material that fills in the gaps. I don't think it's interesting. I think that's a topic that I should address one day. It's that I don't think people like to say they hope the Mandalorian or shows in that era can save the sequels, like the Clone Wars can save, like the Clone Wars saved the prequels, and I don't think it can. Just because there's certain aspects you can play with. Sure, you can tie into Kylo Ren and Luke's Jedi Order and maybe explore Snoke a little bit. But the thing with the Clone Wars is it took place during the conflict of the prequel era, so you could explore a lot more. You can explore the characters. If you do a show pre-Force Awakens, you can't have Rey in it, really. You can't have Finn with it, really. There's no big war going on. So I think if the sequels were to ever be saved, they would probably fill in the gap between 6 and 7 and then do something after episode 9 that ties into the previous content. That's my take, at least. At least the Martez sisters weren't annoying in Bad Batch as they were in Clone Wars. I never disliked Rafa. I always kind of liked Rafa, but Trace was annoying as hell in the Clone Wars Season 7. Would you like the Legends timeline to continue? Both continuities equal will bring balance to the fan base. I wouldn't mind if Legends continued as long as it was just in like books and comics, and they didn't do any shows. I don't think EU fans would care. I don't think they'd care about having their own shows. I think if you start to do your own show, if they started to make shows or movies in the Legends timeline, then things would get confusing for a lot of people. But if they just stuck to books, Star Wars fans are smart enough to differentiate the two. So yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't probably read any of it. But no, I wouldn't mind. It'd probably make a lot of Star Wars fans happy. And it's probably a smart business decision too. You get a lot of the EU fans who are disenfranchised with Star Wars right now to come back. I just missed a lot. Do you think you can do a defense video explaining Rostico's haters why Rostico is not a traitor to the Resistance? I still think that Speeder would not destroy the canon. No, it's a silly topic. Sorry. I would like them to, but if they can make one single bad books, everyone would be so mad and they call them fake legends. That is a good point. The Blue Pig. It'd be like, yeah, we can't trust Disney to make the EU. And I feel like a lot of EU fans want the EU to continue, but I feel like it'd also be like, we can't trust Disney. Again, I can't speak for them. I'm not an EU fan. Not an EU hater. I've just only read 4 of the books. Yeah, not for me. I do think that the sequels will be better liked later on, but not necessarily from shows. It depends. It depends, because the prequels, and I've made this, I've done a video on this before, and I might remake it, because a lot of my old videos, I watched a few of them, I just can't stand. Like, I feel like maybe it's just the curse of being a creator, but I always feel like I want to improve. Like, every time I make a video, I was like, oh, I can improve there and there. But the prequels, when they were coming out, George Lucas really hammered that era to a lot of fans. Like, there was content for books, the video games, everything. The sequels have none of that besides the 3 movies. They can't be afraid of that era. So I think if they just made some fun games or some more books or one show during that timeline, they could do a lot. We'll have to wait and see. Have you played Fallen Order? Yes, I have. Fantastic game. I think Force Awakens and Last Jedi will be better remembered than The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. I think The Last Jedi will. The Force Awakens seems to be like the forgotten movie of the trilogy, just because it's The Force Awakens. I feel like is rarely anyone's favorite. I feel like it's the one people have the least like emotional reaction to. The passionate sequel haters, they crap on Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and I feel like the sequel lovers either love The Last Jedi or love The Rise of Skywalker. I feel like there's not that many people who are like, yeah, I love The Force Awakens, it's the best of the 3. Unless you're a sequel hater and you just hate The Force Awakens the least. I don't know. I could be wrong. There's definitely a lot of people that love The Force Awakens as their favorite, but I feel like those people are not the big sequel fans, if that makes sense. I'm still hoping for Luke Ahsoka as our show between 6 and 7. It could be semi-sequels in a way to the Clone Wars and Rebels. At the same time, it would fix plot holes of the sequels. I have an interesting take on that, and it's an unfortunate take that I don't want to have. But I'm not sure if it would be wise to have Luke meet Ahsoka, which sucks. And the reason I say this is because even though there's some great potential content there, like Ahsoka finding out that Anakin turned back to the light side, I think a big problem with that is that Luke has to believe that the Jedi Order needs to end by the time we get to The Last Jedi. And I feel like if he meets someone like Ezra, who is a proper Jedi, that he shouldn't have that mentality. Maybe if he meets Ahsoka at some point and Ahsoka's like, yeah, screw the Jedi, he can still have that thought process. But it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Unless they want to forego that, which they probably won't, because that's a big thing. With Clone Wars saving the prequels, was the story already there? Clone Wars just expanded it and more. But the sequels, the story just feels disjointed. It needs more context rather than expansion. I think that's actually a very good point, because there's just so much about the sequels. I mean, the world building in the sequel trilogy is borderline non-existent. So I feel like if they just did that, like if they made a show, like even they made like one season of a show that just kind of explained what Palpatine was going through, like an animated show, right? That was just like one episode, like took place every 5 years and was just kind of filling in the gaps, like what was going on in the galaxy, what was Rey's dad up to, all of that. And they just kind of made my video into a mini series, I think that could do a lot of favors. Because I think a lot of people just don't understand what was going on. If they wanted to do sequel stuff before episode 7. It's my favorite of the sequels, hands down. I like Last Jedi a lot. Same with Rise of Skywalker. But between story and theatrical experience, Force Awakens is my favorite. I'm proven wrong. Favorite piece of post 2013 content canon material? Also Max Love. Mad Max. I miss Max. Hope he comes back. Last Jedi, probably. That counts. If you're talking about just books or comics, then Lost Stars. Lost Stars was a fantastic book. Ooh, kind of disagree. Clone Wars micro series is on Disney Plus. No one is confused. They can Wikipedia. It's great to have your positive views. I recommend you read the new Jedi Order series. Thing is, Chosen One. And I respect that. I think it's kind of labeled. Like people acknowledge, like the way the old Clone Wars is marketed on Disney Plus right now. People can figure that out. But with the new Jedi Order series, I would love to. I just don't really have the time or energy to do it. Like there's so many things I want to do. I want to make videos. I want to read some Star Wars books, the canon ones. I want to read some other books. And yeah, maybe one day when I'm retired, I'd love to, but not anytime soon, unfortunately. Ahsoka has to die before the sequels. I like her, but if she survives post Rise of Skywalker, then it's just stretching it. Filoni has to let her go. I mean, is it really? Let's think about it right now. Let's do some math on TUS. And I'm sorry I'm not getting to everyone's comments. I like discussing things. Ahsoka is 17 during the events of Revenge of the Sith. 17. So that means by episode 4, she is 36. So that means if she survives the sequel trilogy, say she survives the Rise of Skywalker, that's 36 plus 35. She's only 71 years old. I mean, people live to like their 90s these days. So realistically, you could have an old Ahsoka. I don't know. I wouldn't mind if Ahsoka survived that long. I really wouldn't. I think it depends on her purpose. I think my big thing with post-sequel content is I don't think Rey can just start building the Jedi Order. She needs to learn more. She's just not ready. So I wouldn't mind seeing Ahsoka survive. Or maybe Ezra would survive and be Rey's master or something. But yeah. I don't think Ahsoka will ever meet Luke. Why wouldn't she warn Luke about Ben Solo emotion attachments to his parents? Maybe she meets Luke when he's young enough before he takes on Ben Solo, or maybe when Ben Solo is still younger, stuff like that. That's a good point. I think Ahsoka can't meet Ben Solo. I think that's a good thing. Here, let me go this. I like this comment. I think Ahsoka could tell Luke how corrupt the Jedi was and what they did to her. Also, we don't know how Ezra is now from the last we saw him. He could be bad, potentially, or very gray. I don't think so. I think that was a big thing about the Rebels, that Ezra became not the perfect Jedi, but what a Jedi should be. So yeah. I had a similar pitch idea for a comic like your animated series, a flashback of Rey's parents finding each other and then going into hiding as a backup story. I think a story on Rey's parents could be so interesting, especially Rey's dad. Well, Rey's clone dad would be such an interesting story. The potential is through the roof. I would love if they did that. Maybe just pay. You don't even have to have the same actor from the movie. Like you saw the actor of Rey's dad in the Rise of Skywalker had like 30 seconds of screen time. Maybe you can just recast him. Maybe get someone to replay Palpatine. I mean, you could easily recast Palpatine. I mean, he's just do all makeup and the voice isn't that hard. Just gotta talk like this. So yeah, that story would be incredibly interesting. Do you think any Bad Batch members will die? Probably all of them, besides Ahsoka, Omega. I don't know. That's just my theory. Thoughts on Bad Batch so far? I personally think it's meh. I agree. Again, I've said this before. I'm patient with the Bad Batch. So I'm curious to see where it goes. What do you think they will do with Crosshair's character? We haven't seen much of him since. I think they'll probably save him at some point, I guess. Hey, everyone. What's up, Gabby? Do you think Sabine has potential to appear in The Mandalorian or any post-Rebels series? Yeah, I could see her easily in the Ahsoka show. Sabine's a fairly important person. She brought peace to Mandalore for a time before whatever Moff Gideon did. So yeah, she's important. She definitely has a close relationship with Bo-Katan, I would think. So yeah, I could easily see Sabine showing up. Do you think Dave will bring Ahsoka and Lux together? No. God knows where Ahsoka. I think Lux died. Honestly, I think somewhere in the canon. Let me look this up. I remember he might have been mentioned in a book, but I think he died. Did Lux die? Does Lux Bonteri die? The droids brought Bonteri before Duke Farmer, but so Lux Bonteri. The canon. Maybe not. Could be wrong. Oopsie daisy. Disney doesn't have the balls to kill off all the Bad Batch. Yeah, you're probably right. They don't. I don't think any of them die except for maybe Crosshair or Wrecker. Yeah, I take back my take. I hope they stop adding new surviving Jedi after Order 66. The point of it was all Jedi were wiped out. I mean, realistically, if there were so many surviving, if there's so many Jedi, odds are a few of them survived. I have a gut feeling that Ahsoka will die during the crossover event between Ahsoka, Rangers, and Mando. If Rangers even happens. It's possible. It's already weird that Ahsoka survived through the OT without getting involved. If she does the same with the sequel trilogy, it's just weird. It feels really convenient. I agree with you with the original trilogy, but with the sequel trilogy, you got to keep in mind it only takes place during the events of like a year. So, I mean, after the Resistance survives, say after the Resistance survives the Battle of Crate, right? There's like 10 of them. And yeah, they regroup and have a little bit of a larger force. But then what? By the Rise of Skywalker, they have 100 people? So they're clearly secretive as to who they're selecting, and they're in hiding. It's not like Ahsoka can just go call up Leia and be like, let me show up. So I can buy that Ahsoka wouldn't be part of the sequel trilogy events. Granted, I said the same thing about Rogue One, and I was wrong. So in regards to what? Lux doesn't die. He appeared in the Battlefront 2 novel. He did? Huh. The one about Inferno Squad? Really? Interesting. Ahsoka should not live past the sequels because I think her death should be with people like Ezra. Also, I could see Ezra living past the sequels. Ezra has to live past the sequels. Ezra's what? Ezra's also actually kind of the similar age to Ahsoka now I think about it. No, I'm stupid. He was born... He's 19 by the events of The Force Awakens. So he would be in his mid-40s? No, he'd be in his early 50s. Ezra's the same age as Luke. So, yeah. I know Lux gets married to someone else in canon. Good for Lux. I think Lux joined the Partisans and died on Jedha, possibly. I could see that. There were only 10,000 Jedi? Yeah, so, I mean, a few, 100 survive? That's what, 1 out of every 100 Jedi survive? Maybe less. I don't know. Lux gets interrogated by Iden because he's a rebel, but she lets him go. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about that. Will Jacen Syndulla be trained by Luke, Ezra, or Ahsoka? I could see that. I mean, they teased that character, so something's gonna happen with Jacen Syndulla, which is weird. Took his mother's last name, not his father's. Star Wars is progressive. The New Republic falls, Luke dies, Palpatine comes back, Ahsoka. It's gonna be great. Palpatine only came back for like a day, so it's not like she probably just found out like, oh, Palpatine came back and then died right away. So she wouldn't be missing out on much. Ezra is the exact age as Luke and Leia to the day. Yeah. Luke was the last Jedi until the third act of the film, so... Oh, and the sequels? You can play loosey-goosey with that. I don't care. And someone makes the point, Yoda tells Luke in Return of the Jedi that he's the last Jedi. But then it's like... what does Yoda know? Does Yoda have knowledge about every single living Jedi ever? I don't buy it. Unless Luke is right about Kylo saying everything he said was wrong. Yeah. Anakin Skywalker, right? Took Shmi's name because he didn't have a father. I didn't have a father. Does my comment appear? I don't know. Does it? There's a lot of people commenting, dude. I can't read everyone. How many times have you cried watching Star Wars? The movies? I think the only time I actually really cry in the movies is Vader's death. I should say cry, just like a little teary-eyed. There is the ending of the last episode of Rebels, like in the beginning, that gets me teary-eyed. When Ezra's like talking to a picture of his parents, that gets me emotional. And then the ending of Rebels too, I just think is really good. Besides Rebels, I don't know. Oh, Quill's death is tough to watch. Search Ricardo Lopez and 144. It's probably a prank, so no. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars games? I love video games, and I hope they make more. Crying closest I get is Luke watching the sunset in New Hope and Luke dying in Last Jedi and Luke raising the X-Wing Rise of Skywalker. Good moments. Do you think they introduce new Chosen Ones post Rise of Skywalker or carry on the Skywalker legacy through Rey children? I hate the concept of a Chosen One, so I hope not. And Rey, the thing I want them to do with the Skywalker name is to have it kind of be a name for people who are kind of lost in the galaxy, like orphans or whatever, and to feel like they're part of something, they'll top the name Skywalker. So no, I mean the Skywalker bloodline is dead, but the Skywalker legacy just doesn't live on just through Rey. I feel like, I mean, as of the Rise of Skywalker, it lives on through her, but hopefully by the time afterwards, where there's a bunch of other Jedi, it lives on through other people. I mean, in a sense, the Skywalker legacy lives on through people like Ahsoka too. So yeah. Endgame, Deathly Hallows 2, and Return of the King only through movies have made me cry. Oh, Lord of the Rings is so good, dude. Thoughts on Fallen Order? Great game. I was looking through Freddie Prinze Jr.'s comment about the Force detects the balance. What if a dark side villain had the ability to change the balance a lot, and a lot of characters get shocked? Not sure what you mean. I really like that idea for the Skywalker name. Me too. I think it would be most fitting to what a Skywalker is. That a Skywalker can be someone who becomes good, becomes bad, but at the end of the day, they care about their family more than anything. Disney, there are other Chosen Ones. Angry prequel fan noises. I get angry noises for me too. Do you think the Bad Batch retcon Jabba's Rancor to be Muchi, or is there enough wiggle space to explain the Aftermath's revelation about the Rancor? I don't care enough about that. After the Kanan comic was retconned, I've kind of lost hope that there is any form of hard consistency between the canon. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. What if the name Skywalker becomes the title bestowed upon the Grand Master in Rey's new Jedi Order? Not the worst thing ever, but I'd prefer it. I'd prefer the Skywalker name be passed to a bunch of people who feel lost in the galaxies. Skywalkers are bound by name, not by blood. I think the family of the next saga should be bound by blood, not by name. I disagree. I think the bound by blood isn't a powerful thing. I mean, Star Wars is about family, yeah, but it's about found family. So I think that Skywalker should be given to every new Jedi, a Jedi equivalent of Darth. What, Skywalker blank? Skywalker Goldman? Do you prefer Rey being a nobody or Palpatine related? I prefer nobody, but I don't hate the Palpatine idea. I think the Palpatine idea could have been better if it was better executed. But I think the message in The Last Jedi was great. Do you have any idea why Star Wars only lost so many subs? He's been making lots of great content, but his channel hasn't been doing well. I haven't noticed. There's no subs. I'm sorry to hear that, but you have to ask him. I hope that's not the case, but I don't know. Right now, the most important thing Lucasfilm needs to do is Ahsoka finds out what happened to Anakin, happened to Ezra and Thrawn. Bonus thing this should happen is Ahsoka and Luke meeting. Yeah. The canon retcon still annoys me. Oh yeah, it annoys me too because it was unnecessary. Me too. It's based on Hindu mythology, different avatars of the Force to bring balance, and a spiritual family. Skywalker passed on to the next light side instrument of the Force. Yeah. Once Disney gets tired of putting shows and movies set during the prequels and the originals, do you think they will decide to continue with the sequel trilogy or go back into the High Republic? I don't think they'll touch the High Republic, honestly. I think it's not. I think that's something that they want to do with the books and the comics, create their own little universe there and just focus on that. I think they would go further back to something like the Old Republic, but no, I don't think we'll see anything live action in the High Republic. I think it's popular enough, to be fair. Just an interesting thought experiment, but not end all be all. I'm not searching anything, dude. He lost 200 subs in the last couple months. I don't know. Shit happens. Sorry to hear that. Losing a lot of subs. I wonder why. I don't. Hey, Goldman, good to see you back. Hope you're doing all right. I'm doing well. Thank you. RJ, are you one of Max's friends? I think I've seen your name before. I could be wrong. What up, Elijah? I'd love to see them pull a legacy and jump way ahead. I wouldn't. I don't know. I think one of the advantages of doing something after the Rise of Skywalker is that you don't have anywhere you need to go. If you jump way ahead, then you're starting to handicap yourself in some way. You can make the argument you can go further out enough where post Rise of Skywalker would still have a lot of freedom. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Will Grogu be the new Jedi Grand Master 800 years after Rise of Skywalker? We'll have to wait and see. The perfect way to piss off a prequel fan is either call us idiots, brainwashed, and children. The real heresy is challenging Anakin's chosen one status in any way. I mean, Anakin is the chosen one. I just don't like that idea, and I think it's a stupid concept. I'm not denying it. I just think it's silly. I'm thinking of someone else. Oops. Sorry. I can't remember if you said this on Shadowing today, but what did you think of the recent Bad Batch episode? It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I'm patient. I'm patient with the franchise. I'm hoping it gets to it soon. Which period of time between the movies do you think is the most interesting for new material to work with? I'd say between 6 and 7. It's very interesting. I mean, I'd love for them to go after episode 9, but I think they should and probably will fill out 6 and 7 beforehand. Last year, I bought 4K Blu-rays of the original trilogy, and I'm rather conflicted. On the one hand, the movies look better than ever, but on the other hand, color grading is drastically different. I have a copy of the despecialized editions, which is like the unaltered ones in 1080p. I downloaded them off the internet illegally like 8 years ago. So yeah, I don't care. My fight for the original versions is long gone. I don't care about that anymore, unfortunately. Because of all the theory drama, he calls some fans toxic for no reason. He also has making weird videos like George Lucas coming back. I don't know. His content is just different now. I don't watch Star Wars Theory that much. I watch his streams. And I try to analyze Star Wars Theory as a businessman because he is very successful. And even if I disagree with his takes, there's no denying that he's successful. So I try to study him in that way. And I don't really watch a lot of his lower videos. How long do you think they'll keep making Star Wars content? Do you think by doing everything to keep Star Wars alive, they're possibly stopping the rise of the next Star Wars? It'll probably go on forever. IP is the biggest thing right now. It's so hard to create a new IP. I doubt we'll be alive to see the last Star Wars story unless like the world gets nuked and everyone dies. How to make a Star Wars fan mad to raise a chosen one. Oh, I was once toxic on Twitter, and I tweeted out a picture of Anakin with the with his lightsaber, and I said if you look closely, Anakin's holding Rey's lightsaber, and that triggered a bunch of people. I don't know. Sometimes I like being toxic. The Chosen One is specifically about Anakin's destiny to destroy Palpatine. George said everyone has a destiny and a purpose who follow the will of the Force, so everyone is chosen for something. I guess. Still don't like the Chosen One idea. I think the prequels would be much better off if there was no Chosen One. Probably downloaded it illegally from Star Wars Only. I wasn't from. I didn't know him back then. I was talking about Star Wars Only. Star Wars Only. Oh, Star Wars Only is different now. Star Wars Only was calling out Theory and his fans, and they lost a lot of subs. I don't know. Star Wars Only and I make different content. He does a lot of like relevant stuff, and I kind of discuss like the story more. I don't know. He does what makes him happy. I'm not gonna judge him on that. Yeah, I had to go somewhere, but I was glad I could catch the first 10 minutes or so. I always hate it when I have to miss those streams. You familiar with that Junkman? He also likes to troll on Twitter. I mean, I don't troll actively. I'll sometimes like to poke the bear a little bit, but very rarely. Raise lightsaber heresy. Target this channel with all our memes. No, it's toxic of me. Do you think Rex had met Luke before Battle of Endor and talked about Anakin Skywalker before Luke faces Darth Vader again? Probably. It only makes sense. Rex was actively involved with the Rebel Alliance, so it only makes sense. Hey, I just got here. What are we doing? Also, what are your thoughts on the Star Wars despecialized version? These specialized versions are cool. I have them. Version of them, at least. I haven't watched them in a few years because they're Blu-rays, but they don't work on my Xbox. So I got to play an actual Blu-ray player. But they're cool. Ray's lightsaber, you found a new way to unite the Cloud Squad. I want Ray's lightsaber, the yellow one. I think yellow's a cool one color. You know, gold man? Gold. So. Do you know that Star Wars theory name is Neotus? Yeah, I saw that stream. Cool name. I wish I had a unique name. Hello there. What's up? Rex and Lux should meet too. That would be a cool scene to see. I say Lux, I meant to say Luke. Rex and Luke should meet. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's kind of crazy to think that new Star Wars stories may be told in the far future and that we may not have to witness all of them. Really makes you think. Yeah. Really does make you think. Could be crazy. That's why Star Wars is so valuable. That's why I want to keep all my Star Wars things. Like I have all these Star Wars books. And I don't know, they could be worth a lot one day. Ooh, that gives us a hint of what your name is. Okay, we now know his name isn't Neotus. Yes, I will say that my name is not Neotus. Look at skip comments. Have you watched any of SF Deborah's Star Wars Deborah's SF Debris Star Wars content or seen the reviews of the movie comic adaptations by Linkara? No clue what you're talking about, so no. Sorry. It dawned on me watching the Bad Batch that the inhibitor chips were a new concept introduced in Clone Wars. How did you react when they were first introduced? I don't really remember because there was a period of time where I wasn't actively into Star Wars, and that it was probably between 2009 and 2013. So by the time that's when Rebels or Clone Wars came out. So when I rewatched the Clone Wars and they mentioned the inhibitor chips, that wasn't a thing that just changed for me. I was like, oh, that's interesting. It makes sense. I kind of like it better than the old way. Yeah. Will you one day ever do a video on Legends like the Old Republic, maybe, Revan? I haven't played any of the Old Republic games. I've read 4 Legends books and that is it. So probably not. Do you think we'll ever see Force Ghost Anakin either in animation or live action, possibly having seen with Luke or Ahsoka? I hope so, but I'm not sure we will see it. I think eventually we will. When is meme review? There haven't been any memes in a while, dude. Or to be fair, I haven't been on Reddit. I don't know. Meme reviews are tiring. Maybe someday, but not in the foreseeable future. I'm sorry. Will Rey have Ben Solo children through dyad? Sidious and Plagueis wanted to create life and a strong dyad. Rey being a mother is something I just can't picture. I don't know. These super athletic, sporty chicks like Rey and Korra, I just can't picture them having kids. Also, Rey's Korra is bi and is dating Asami, so she probably won't have kids. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't mentally picture Rey having kids. Also, who's the father? I guess through the dyad if it's Ben. I don't know. That's weird. I thought about that a lot. It's do they really want to continue the Skywalker bloodline to do that? But it's kind of it's a little. I don't know. Rey's in the prime of her life, and I assume if this were to happen, she wouldn't choose it. She can't just be oh, I want to be pregnant one day and snap her fingers. It would just happen. And I don't know. If I was a 20-year-old girl in the prime of my life, I probably wouldn't want to be pregnant after raise a kid. So, do a meme review stream like you did last time. Fair enough. We are a lot less active on the subreddit, but there are some pretty good ones that you probably haven't seen. That's fair. Actually, I'm fairly active on the Discord. You know what I might do one day? I do want to get more involved with you guys and actually maybe start talking to you. I might just some days let you guys know I'll join the Discord chat and we can just chat. And maybe one day I can have some of you guys on someday. That would be cool if there was a child of Ben and Rey. She would technically be the last Blood Skywalker. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the Skywalker bloodline being over. It was a myth. There was like 3 or 4 generations, and it was over. I don't need more blood Skywalkers. Papa Mimas is obviously gonna get Rey pregnant and continue the Skywalker legacy. Imagine Rey and Cora could adopt, in a sense. I mean, Rey was kind of adopted by Leia in a sense. There's no like official adoption papers. Poe could be the father. Honestly, I see Rey and Poe more than Rey and Ben. That's so weird. Rey and Poe don't even like have conversations. I disagree. Diet pregnancy sounds weird. The concept sounds something from the Bad EU book. Yeah, it was something I was a little fond of when the Rise of Skywalker ended, but I think I was just in like denial that Ben Solo died, and I just wanted some way for it to continue. This is why I always call myself a sort of kind of Reylo. If I was the writer of the Rise of Skywalker after the events of Episode 8, I think having Reylo, a relationship between Rey and Kylo, would have been the most interesting story to go forward. But I wasn't like married to the idea. I mean, it didn't happen. I'm not like depressed about it. I thought it could have been the most interesting, but not the only interesting way. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see Rey being a parental figure of some kind. She's kind of positive, fits well as to who a Jedi should be, even though she doesn't one day have biological children. Rey's 20 years old in The Rise of Skywalker. I'm 22. I'm not thinking about having kids, and neither should Rey. So no, Rey can worry about having kids when she's in her 30s. No, Poe and Finn all the way. I'm not on that train, but I respect it. Could there be an animated series after Episode 9, not Resistance spinoff? I hope so. I certainly hope so. Which film subverted expectations better, Last Jedi or Knives Out? Probably Last Jedi. Yeah, I don't know. Because Last Jedi I had expectations, Knives Out I didn't have expectations. Besides that, it would be good because it's Rian Johnson. Will we get a story after the sequel trilogy, possibly comic, show, book, or movie? The rumors are that Rogue Squadron is going to be after The Rise of Skywalker, which I'm actually very happy about. I've been a Finn Rey since Episode 7. If it happened, it happened, but it wasn't necessary. I could see that. I think after Episode 7, if I had to write Episode 8 and 9, I would have written Finn and Rey into a relationship. But after Episode 8, probably not, just because you can't. I feel like you can't have a relationship there if they do a whole movie and they're not together. Maybe if they wanted to redevelop that in. Also, in Episode 9, Rey's such a bad friend to Finn. I don't know. I just can't picture it now. Maybe if they did some hardcore work in a series, then they could do it, but no. Did you know that Rey and Poe became a thing in the Duel of the Fates script? Yeah, and I think that's stupid. I think it's really stupid. Would you be cool in seeing different genres in Star Wars, like a horror, comedy, and documentary? Horror, yes. Comedy, not really. Documentary, no. I could see horror though. Can't be rated R though. If Rey took Kylo hand, Rise of Skywalker would be real interesting. It would be interesting. I think Chris Terrio said that Luke and Leia's ghost just showed up because Rey was bearing their sabers, but I still wish we saw Ben's Force Ghost. Yeah, I think it would have made sense for Ben's Force Ghost to show up, but I'm not going to cry about that. I could see a post Episode 9, but it'd be a long while. Yeah. I don't know why. Knives Out is one of my all-time favorite movies, and Last Jedi was okay. I was really surprised about Knives Out. I mean, you can love a director's movie and hate another movie the director made. I mean, I shouldn't, maybe not hate, but like, again, I love Star Wars Episode 4, written and directed by George Lucas, and I think The Phantom Menace, written and directed by George Lucas, was an abysmal movie. So, which prophecy do you prefer, the Chosen One or the Dyad? That's not really a prophecy. It's more so a concept. Just like there's a Dyad in the Force. There's not like two people will be prophesized to be a Dyad. That's not a thing. So Dyad's not really a prophecy. I shipped Finn Rey in Episode 7 and then shipped Reylo in 8 and 9. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It is what it is, though. Maybe the films will be focused around the sequel trilogy, but the shows will be centered around the OT and the PT for the next 5 years or so. If they do anything involving the sequel trilogy, I'll be happy. We'll have to wait and see. There was a Star Wars horror book called Death Troopers. I heard it's pretty good, but I wouldn't mind any horror elements in Star Wars. Me neither. Is it confirmed Ben became a Force ghost? I think in the Rise of Skywalker novel, he says something along the lines like Rey hears something from Ben like right after he dies. So yeah. I think Ben Spring was stupid. When did he do the trials to become a Force Ghost? I don't know. I don't know how the Force works. I'm probably hop off in about 5 minutes, guys. Probably gonna go to bed, read a book. Gotta do more reading. Favorite quote. Mine needs a book like a sword needs a whetstone from Tyrion Lannister. I ship Boss Nass and Claude. That is gross. I don't want to see that. Okay, gotta go now. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you too. What are the odds of a post Rise of Skywalker animated series under Dave Filoni in the future? Probably not under Dave Filoni. He's moving on to other things. But he could executive produce it. Odds are, I hope it's high. All of the ship names: Raylo, Faye. I think it was just Finn Ray, Finn Poe, Finn Rose, and Ray. I don't know what Ray Poe is. I don't know. It's hard to do. I don't know. I don't like it. You should read Harry Potter. Maybe someday. Yes to the Tyrion quote. I love Game of Thrones. One of my favorite shows of all time. Might be like top 4 or 3, honestly, for me. I think time passes differently when people take the Force Ghost trials. Yeah, it's the same way Anakin became a Force Ghost. I mean, he didn't technically disappear, but he still became a Force Ghost shortly after. Yeah. Would you want a Tarantino Star Wars movie? No. Tarantino style is the complete antithesis to what Star Wars should be. Star Wars is for kids, and Tarantino's movies are not. So I feel like you can never have a rated R Star Wars movie or show. You could do a book, something like that. Because books, if you do like a adult book, I mean, not everyone's going to read that. But no, a Star Wars movie needs to be for kids. PG-13 is the max anything Star Wars should go. Game of Thrones Season 8 sucked. Yeah. Agreed. Have you ever heard of Dark Legends? It's a book that tells scary stories of the dark side and even includes X as well. Yeah, I have one that's Myths and Fables. It's like the light side one. I want to get Dark Legends. I don't have it though. I want to get it though. Thing is, I'm moving in like a month, and I don't want to really buy anything here because that means I have to move more. So I'm gonna wait. I'd love to see someone become the next Filoni, like passing the torch in a sense. Filoni's young, so it probably won't happen for a while. Not young. He's in his, his 40s, 50s? Let's see. Dave Filoni age. He's 47. Like George Lucas is in his late 70s, 80s now. So maybe another 20 years. And then, I don't know. It depends if Dave Filoni ever wants to move on. Dave Filoni, he's been working with Star Wars for now 13 years. Doesn't seem like he's slowing down. So, yeah. Hey, Ricardo Lopez was the first blogger he used to record VSH tapes. That's why you should search him. He's also called Blork Soccer. Good soldiers follow orders. If they do a show involving the sequel characters, I think that would be interesting to go through. Maybe they'll one day bring back Rey. I don't know. Maybe Rey will be the main character in Rogue Squadron. That would make me happy. I think would be a great series for Poe. I just can't picture Oscar Isaac coming back. I just can't do it. Also, with Patty Jenkins directing, I bet you the main character is a woman. So maybe it's Rey. I don't know. Sorry, I'm late, Goldman. I'm actually going to hop off in a minute and a half. So make sure everyone hits the like button. Sorry for screaming, but yes. Make sure you destroy the like button. Do I really want the Mandalorian to introduce Ezra Bridger and Thrawn and that whole Unknown Regions arc? It'll probably happen. Probably not. Probably in the Ahsoka show, not the Mandalorian. Do you prefer Rey Skywalker or Rey Solana? I'll go with Rey Nobody, but Rey Skywalker easily. I think Rey taking on the Skywalker name is a very powerful message. I really do think it is a powerful message because it's Rey found a family, the Skywalkers. So yeah, Rey Skywalker. What do you think about Solo? Fun movie. I haven't watched it in a while though. Kind of want to see like Star Wars Top Gun or Star Wars Midday out of Rogue Squadron. Probably will. I mean, it's Rogue Squadron. We're gonna get something like that. Yeah. Rey Nobody's so much better. Yeah. I don't know. Something's like I'm such a Last Jedi shill that like it's my second favorite Star Wars movie. I don't think it's the second best. It's my second favorite. I don't know. That movie will have a soft spot for a long time. Do you think the Phantom Civil War will ever end? If Star Wars takes like a 10-year hiatus and they have to, I think if Star Wars took a hiatus and then Disney sold Star Wars to someone else and then they made a new trilogy of films, then I think the Civil War or people would be united around the sequel trilogy and then they'd hate the next thing. All right, guys, that's it for me. I actually desperately need to use the bathroom right now, so I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the Cloud Squad, and I will see you guys next time. End broadcast.